Hello, everyone. It is time for Mother's Day, and this is our Mother's Day meal I'm going to make with you guys. And I wanted to show you who made me a mother. These are my three boys, Christopher and Till, and my baby, Tristan. None of them are little babies anymore, but these are the young men that made me a mom. And so I have celebrated Mother's Day for quite a while. Um, we are going to make Greek stuffed bell peppers. They're healthy, they're yummy, and they're special. And also, on top of it, they are super easy to make. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we need for this recipe. You will also have the recipe so you can print it out, but so I just want to show you real quick from above what we need for this recipe. Okay, we will need some bell peppers, and I really like to have fun with this and just get different colors. You want to try to get all the same sizes if you can, but as you can tell, like this is a really big one. Maybe that's the mama bell pepper, right? And then we have all the colors. Doesn't matter, whatever you prefer. My favorite bell pepper actually is the red one. I like the sweetness of it. We will need some red onion, some garlic. We will need some beef. We will also need some feta cheese right here, some mint, parsley, salt, pepper, and we have some oregano, some Kalamata olives, and that's it. Super simple. And we will need a cutting board and a knife. And then we will need a little mixing bowl, measuring equipment, as always, and something to bake our bell peppers in. All right, so once you have gathered all your ingredients, make sure that you wash your hands. Always work with clean hands. And if you have really long hair, tie your hair back because we don't want any hairy bell peppers for our moms, right? Okay, so do that, and you can pause me at any point. You can rewind if you need to, since this is a recorded class. Super easy, do it at your own pace. And I hope that you just follow along and have a blast and make a yummy meal for your moms. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna make some room right here because I don't need all of this on my cutting board. We are going to start by working on our bell peppers. So my bell peppers have been washed. I make sure that there's no sticker left on them. Let's double check because those stickers are definitely not edible. And then we want to just remove the lid. We call this the lid. So tuck your fingers in and then just cut down, and we're going to remove the lid like this, and then we're going to take out the seeds and this white membrane in here. And I just use my fingers, but you can also use a spoon, right? Like you could just take a spoon and scrape that out if you want to. We just want to make sure that there's no seeds, so I like to tap it onto the cutting board to make sure that there is nothing in there. So sometimes these bell peppers are a little bit wonky, and if they're not standing well by themselves, you can very gently just take a little bit off the bottom. This is a little crooked, but I think it's going to be okay. All right, so I have one, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to show you from above how this will look like. Let's go with the red one, okay? So here is my bell pepper, here's my stem. I tuck my fingers in, and then I'm going to just cut the lid off. So I look for that there's about a finger width space between the top, because I don't want to actually like cut into the actual lid. So I want to make sure that there is an intact lid. Okay, you see these seeds and this white stuff? Just take your fingers, break it out. You can just remove this, tap it, voila, you have one more. You do the same thing to the lid, just get those seeds out. You can use a spoon if you want. Oops. And I like to just tap them on the cutting board. That way all the seeds come out. See, this lid doesn't want to stay on. We will deal with that in a little bit. Okay, and we proceed with our next one. You guys get it by now. I'm just going to cut it, remove the seeds. Remove the seeds from the lid as well. They sometimes can be a little bit spicy, these seeds, but they also just don't cook really well, and so that they don't have a very good mouth feel, as they say in culinary terms. So get the seeds out. These seeds are like flying all over my kitchen. Okay, all right. The hardest part is already over. See how easy this is? Okay, so we are going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. 400 degrees on bake, and you turn your oven on. We want to make sure that our oven is completely preheated before we cook these. And then we're going to set these aside. I'm just going to set them right over here. There we go. And we are going to make our filling. Obviously, you can make this vegetarian if you want to. Just add a bunch of vegetables in there. You could add some lentils. Even beans would work very well. In this case, I'm going to make it with some ground beef, and we will always add a little bit of onion because onion adds flavor. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we cut the onion. So I have my onion right here. I'm going to remove this sticker. There is the root ball of the onion, and here is this little thing that is what sticks out of the ground. It's long and green when the onion is fresh in the ground, but you want to always find these parts. And then we're going to just cut a little bit right here off the side. So just take your knife, cut a little bit off. And the reason why I'm doing this is so that we can set the onion with the cut side down, and this way your onion is stable on the counter, okay? So now I'm going to find my root ball again and the little thing that's sticking out from the top, and we're going to cut it in half. So tuck your fingers in, hold on to your onion, and then just press down and cut your onion in half. So if this feels scary to you, go ahead and ask for help. It really isn't super hard. It's just something you need to get used to. And here's another tip. Breathe through your mouth at all times while you're cutting onion. Onion like to make your eyes tear up. So I'm going to move this onion out of the way, and we are going to cut we're going to cut this in half because really this recipe calls for half of a small onion, but this onion, look at how big this onion is. This is not a small onion, so I'm going to use just a quarter. Okay, so I just cut this in half. Now take a look what this looks like. There are these lines right here, the layers of an onion. Here's the little bit of the root ball, and here's this little thing that sticks up from the top. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to peel just one layer off this onion. And the reason why we do that is because onions have the skin and it's very leathery, so we want to remove that because it's not very yummy. Okay, move all the other stuff out of the way as well. And then again, root ball right here, little doodad on the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut it in strips, and then we're turning it, and then we're cutting it like that. And this is how you dice an onion. So just cut. I like to just cut in, and then I hold the pieces in place. So just cut. Oh. And cut one more time, and then cut one more time. Okay, and then I turn it to the side. I will cut this part, I will remove, and then we're just gonna cut again, and this creates little dice. So keep your fingers tucked in on the hand that you are just holding the onion with, so that you don't accidentally cut yourself. So at this point, we can just remove this because it just gets too close. But you see, like, these little pieces, they're perfect. And we're going to put them right into our mixing bowl. Keep breathing through your mouth. And if you want to, you can wash your hands and rinse your knife off. There's my oven. So rinse your knife off, wash your hands off. That will make the onion juices a little bit more bearable, right? Okay. All right. So we are moving on to the next thing. Okay. We have our onion diced right here. We are also going to chop up 1 clove of garlic because, you know, garlic is good for you. It adds flavor. If you hate garlic, you don't have to put it in. But we are cooking this for your mom. So take 1 clove of garlic. Do you see how there's a bunch of skin on here? So what I like to do is I like to just take this, and then I like to take either a wooden spoon or a spatula will work. Here, you can take a spatula, and then you're going to place the spatula on top, and then you whack it with the palm of your hand. What we're doing is we're kind of crushing this garlic clove, okay? So just whack it like that. And what this does is it loosens the skin off your garlic. Super easy. So just peel it. Oh, there we go. And then we are going to chop up our garlic. All right, so take my garlic, and again, tuck your fingers in, and then just slice it in slices, okay? And then kind of squish it back together, turn it sideways, and then we're going to, again, cut it into tiny pieces. If you want to, you can also, at this point, just take your knife and put the tip of your knife on the cutting board, and then just kind of pivot your knife around, chopping it up a little bit more, okay? I like to use my little spatula to help me get this off the knife blade so I don't have to touch it. And then we're going to scoop up the rest of the garlic, throwing it right in there. All right. What else do we need for this? Well, there wouldn't be a Greek meal without feta cheese. So we are going to take some feta cheese, and it's about half of a cup of feta cheese, and we're just going to crumble it right in here. And just crumble it in. I love feta cheese. Super yummy. They have feta cheese made from goat's milk and from sheep and from cow. And I'm going to wash my hands. Okay. I need a towel. Here. Okay. So we have onion, we have garlic, we have feta cheese in here. Now we have our meat right here. We're going to add that in a second. We will need a little bit of our calamati. We will need a little bit of our calamati olives. So open it. And then I'm going to take a few of them out and also chop them up. So let's see. I'm going to switch over so you guys can see this. And we need about 6. I'll make 7, why not? I like olives. So these are seeded calamati olives. And I just like to chop these up because we want a little bit in every bell pepper. So we're making the filling, so we need to chop these up so that they are distributed, right? So just drop that into your bowl. And then we are going to add some dried oregano. And you can use fresh oregano if that's what you have. Like, let's say you have a garden or you have some in your refrigerator. You can totally do that. You need 1 teaspoon. My teaspoon measure doesn't fit in my jar, so I'm going to do ½ a teaspoon 2 times. Just measure that out. So this is dried oregano. You can smell it. Something that I like to do is I like to take my fingers and kind of crush the oregano a little bit. This will kind of set the aroma free. We'll just distribute the flavor a little bit more. And I'm just rinsing my hands off. All right, we're almost there, guys. Now we're going to chop up some parsley and some mint leaves, add some salt and pepper, and then we are done, my friends. So here I have some parsley. This is Italian parsley. It has this flat leaf. There's also this kind of crinkly parsley. You can use either. It's totally fine. And I just rip a little bit off the top. I don't like the stems very much in there because they just are too crunchy. About 3 tablespoons, but it's like a nice good handful. And then we are going to chop this up. Make sure you chop it up. You can use scissors. You can use your knife. The way I like to do it is just by placing my tip of my knife on the cutting board and then taking my hand and just kind of pushing down and kind of pivoting around, scooping it back up. And we're just cutting this so that we have little bitty pieces, okay? All right, throw that in there. And use your little spatula to clean your blade. And then we do about the same amount of mint leaves, okay? So I have my mint leaves right here. And Here, I just plug the leaves off. I don't want the stems in there. Mint is a weird flavor to put into your food, but I tell you, for Greek food, that's something very typical. And it's really yummy. Okay, so again, you can just chop this up. If your knife isn't very sharp, use some scissors. Scissors work very well. You can also just tear it in little pieces with your hands like this. Totally works as well. And you should smell all this. It's so yummy. Okay, we're going to drop this in here. And then I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of salt. This is kosher salt. That's all I use for baking and a lot of times for cooking. And then we're going to add our meat. We're going to add our meat and a little bit of pepper. And then we are ready to mix it all up. So take your meat. And always remember, once you handle the meat, wash your hands with soap because we don't want to get our belly sick. So take your meat in there. This is ground beef. I'm going to put this wrapper right into the trash. And we're going to mix this up. This is going to be so yummy. Yum. I am so excited. I'm kind of cheating, I guess. I'm making my own Mother's Day meal. Yeah, but I'm sure that my boys will do something special for me. They always do. Okay, so just kind of massage this together. Almost there. Get all of it in there. And look, it's like this kind of pale pink mixture. And then you take your bell pepper, take the lid off, and you're going to fill it. I'm going to show you ones like this. So just kind of eyeball it by divide it into fours. You can press it in there. You just make sure that you fill your bell peppers nicely. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to wash my hands so that I can show you from the other view. Always use soap. All right. So let me show you what this looks like. So here's one of my peppers. And we're going to just set the lid right on top and then place it into your pan, okay? Here's my red bell pepper. You can do this with a spoon or you can do this with your hands and just kind of squish that in there. And I'm gonna grab another one and squish that in there, and my last one. Of course, if you have to feed more than 4 people, or if you are just a hungry bunch of people, then double this recipe by all means, okay? All right, so let's talk about what we made here. So listen, guys. This is gluten-free. So if your mom's gluten-free, this is pretty good, right? Ask your mom if this fits into her plan, whatever she likes to eat. I am trying gluten-free at the moment, just to give my body a break. And so I can totally eat this. It's yummy. It does have some dairy in it. You can also see if your mom doesn't eat dairy, if maybe she can have goat's milk, not goat's milk. If your mom can have goat's cheese or sheep cheese, right? Um, so you can try different things like that. If you can eat gluten, you could even add an egg and some. Okay, so that is pretty much it. It's super simple. If you don't want to do clean up or a very little cleanup, you can put some parchment paper under there, but it's totally not necessary. And we're going to bake this at 400 degrees for about 40 to 45 minutes. What is going to happen is the meat is going to be cooked, and these bell peppers, do you see how nice and stiff they are and crunchy they are? Well, they're going to get soft and a little bit shriveled up, okay? So bake these 40 to 45 minutes and then let them sit for about 5 minutes to cool before you serve them. Okay, have fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys did. If you guys enjoyed it, if your mom enjoyed it, let me know. I super appreciate you guys, and I hope I see you this summer in some camps. All right, so before we go, I just put my bell peppers into the oven. I set a timer, and now I'm going to clean up. Okay, so we can clean up. And if you guys are making the other recipes like the Greek salad or the apple roses that we send as well, then you can totally go ahead and do this while this is cooking, right? Okay, so clean up your kitchen. Always be careful with your knife. Wipe your counters down. Put your ingredients back into the refrigerator or into the pantry, depending on where they belong. Have pride in your kitchen, and I'll see you guys in like 40 minutes where I will show you these yummy bell peppers.